Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel where we discuss all sorts of things regarding our lives and the problems that we're facing in our lives. Last time I spoke about the idea of self-confidence and how important it is to do things in order to acquire self-confidence, because otherwise you do not get self-confidence. In this video I'm going to talk a little bit about something that is sort of connected with the act of doing things in order to acquire self-confidence. And I would like to talk about the idea of making efforts in general and the comfort zone. Yes, it's the same comfort zone that you hear a lot of people speak about mostly in the self-development domain, in the self-help domain. A lot of people like to bring this idea into discussion, and they typically throw something that I really hate. And it's become a bit of a cliche, but it's a very toxical one. The phrase, get out of your comfort zone. Do something to get out of your comfort zone. I really hate that. And what I hate more is the fact that they don't really bother to explain a little bit why should you do that. What are the advantages and the disadvantages of that? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of not getting out of your comfort zone? So I want to talk today a little bit about this subject so that we can have, hopefully we can have a better idea, a better image about this topic. And hopefully we might not find ourselves fall so easily into these words of these so-called self-help gurus, or whatever they may call themselves. So let's start a little bit by defining the comfort zone. And I don't mean in the sense of coming up with an academic definition. We're not really interested in that sort of things. We're more like interested in characterizing the comfort zone, in seeing how the comfort zone is, not as much as what the comfort zone is. So how would we describe the comfort zone? Well, it's definitely a space in which we feel safe. Not necessarily because outside of the comfort zone there are a tribe of cannibals that might hunt us down and try to eat us, but in the sense that there is a certain safety and assurance in the comfort zone. The comfort zone is full of things that we've done in the past, that we know about, and therefore we don't really have a problem doing them again. Hence, they are safe. Okay? The comfort zone is the place where things are easy, generally speaking, or at least easier than outside of the comfort zone. Why? Well, again, there are things that we've done in the past. Perhaps we've developed a certain level of efficiency at doing them, so they feel overall relatively easy. Exactly because they are known. Sometimes they are very well known. Versus the things that fall outside of the comfort zone, which are in a large degree unknown. They're like an unknown path in the forest, you don't exactly know what kind of dangers it might present, and therefore you can potentially think of all sorts of things. And therefore, going on that road will overall feel a bit harder, or sometimes a lot harder, than going on a road or on a mountain trail that you've been several times. Another thing that we could say about the comfort zone is that overall it implies low energy. What we are doing without consuming that much of an amount of energy, at least relative to the other things that fall outside of the comfort zone. Okay? Bear in mind that many of these things that we're enumerating here are should be taken as a relative manner. We should not take them on an absolute manner. Okay? So typically things inside the comfort zone are low energy, require low energy or lower than outside of the comfort zone. Okay? Why is that? Well, it doesn't really matter. Maybe we've done them enough so that now we kind of do them automatically. We just set our minds and our bodies on autopilot and they are just working for us. Or perhaps, I don't know, there are other reasons, but overall, comfort zone implies low energy. Low energy typically comes with low efforts as well. Again, like I've said before, what we are doing in the comfort zone doesn't require that much effort than outside of the comfort zone. And therefore, what we are doing inside the comfort zone gives us much higher and much faster results than the activities that we are doing outside of the comfort zone. We do care about results, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but I do care. I care quite a lot about results. I'm not particularly that kind of person, and you might resonate with me. I'm not that kind of person for which the journey is more important than the destination. I do not travel, metaphorically speaking, unless I want to reach some destination, So this is why, for me, things that fall inside the comfort zone are much more appealing because they typically lead to faster results, to bigger results, or both. So that's nice, right? Obviously, that also means whenever you have low energy, low efforts, higher results, that also means higher efficiency. So, to put it simply, in the comfort zone, what we are doing with a much higher efficiency than the things that we are doing when we are outside of the comfort zone. Okay? Furthermore, when we are inside the comfort zone, things require little, or we find ourselves having little or no new things that we need to learn. Typically, the comfort zone is full of things that we already know, things that we are already comfortable with, because that's why it's called comfort zone, right? So whenever something new needs to be learned, if it's still within the comfort zone, it's something relatively small and therefore does not pose as a problem. Hence, typically while we are in the comfort zone, we don't really require adaptation. We're not really faced with the need to adapt to a new situation. This particular aspect of requiring no adaptation is sort of neutral. Is neither an advantage nor a disadvantage. It is depending on how you see it. Okay, from the perspective of being efficient and achieving things, when you are in a situation in which you don't really need to adapt to something new, that's the best situation for you. Because if you need to adapt to something new, then you have to divert energy, efforts, time, to that process of adaptation. So that's the good thing about the comfort zone. The bad thing regarding the adaptation process is that, yes, it is true that while you are in the comfort zone, you don't really grow per se, because growing implies some form of adaptation to a new situation. So because there's no adaptation inside the comfort zone, you experience a form of stagnation. I wouldn't say that you are standing still in your life. Maybe you are moving forward, but you're not quite moving forward that much. Okay, again, this is not a bad thing. It's just something that is and needs to be mentioned in order for us to be aware of it. Okay, so as we can see, the comfort zone overall has a lot more qualities than disadvantages, a lot more advantages than disadvantages. Okay, what is the opposite of the comfort zone? Well, it's basically the opposite of everything that I've mentioned so far. Okay, when we are outside of the comfort zone, we are in a zone that is not safe. It presents all sorts of dangers for us. Maybe small, maybe big. It depends on the case. It's a zone where things are not easy. They're typically difficult. It's a zone in which we are consuming higher amounts of energy in order to be achieving whatever it is that we want. The efforts are high, therefore the results don't come fast and are not that big. Therefore the efficiency is low. And outside of the comfort zone, we are kind of forced to learn new things, to adapt, to acquire new skills, to understand new things, or reach a deeper understanding of the same things that we already understand on some level. Okay, that means time and energy and effort that you have to put into those processes. Okay, so as we can see, we don't really like the outside of the comfort zone, and we don't want to spend that much time in it. And what I'm advocating for is not permanently remaining inside the comfort zone no matter what, and not getting out of the comfort zone ever. Not at all. But what I'm speaking for is the idea that we should actually do our best to live our lives as much as possible from the comfort zone, while at the same time we get out of the comfort zone from time to time, just a little bit, just 1 or 2 steps out. Okay, we don't run an entire marathon outside of the comfort zone, because that's just way too far and it's not sustainable, it's not realistic, and it does not bring us real benefits. We just take a few steps outside of the comfort zone in order to acquire new information, new skills, new abilities, etc., etc. And then we get back into the comfort zone. And overall, the real long-term, stable and sustainable solution is to enlarge our comfort zone. In other words, we get out a little bit, okay? We gather what we need to gather, and then we run back. And we do our best to enlarge our comfort zone with the area that we have covered earlier outside of the comfort zone. Try to picture it sort of like this. You have a cabin in the woods with a bit of garden around it. Okay, your property is not much, or let's say you have a farm. I think it's simpler to understand, right? So you have your property, which is surrounded by some form of fence, and you have your property, your house on that property, okay, where you live. That's you and your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is your entire farm, your entire property, okay, your garden that is delimited by that fence. And outside of the comfort zone, things are not safe, but you want to make them safe. Well, what you can potentially do is, open the door, make a couple of steps around the house, gather some wood. Again, we're talking metaphorically, okay? Try to just imagine what I'm saying for the sake of understanding an abstract concept. Don't cling on to the actual things that I'm talking about, okay? So you get outside, you take a little bit of wood around your house, and you come back, and you just take a little bit of that fence of yours, and you push it a little bit more into the woods, and you use the woods that you've gathered. You take the branches that you've gathered from around your house to create new pieces of fence, so that you can make your fence longer, so that overall you can increase the perimeter of your property. And you keep doing this, okay? You do this once, you enlarge your fence, you push it a little bit more into the woods, then you open the door again, you move around your property, you gather more branches, and you cut down a few more trees immediately from around your house. You come with them back, you make wooden planks, you create new pieces of fence, okay, and you keep enlarging your fence, and therefore automatically the surface of your property, and you keep doing so and doing so and doing so, little by little, so that with each step you are incorporating more of the nasty forest, so put in quotation mark, the nasty unsafe forest, you are incorporating it into your safe farm, into your safe garden, okay? And this is really the only thing that we should be doing regarding the so-called comfort zone, okay? We shouldn't be following that which this thing that keeps being shoved down our throats, get out of the comfort zone, get out of your comfort zone. You have to get out of your comfort zone in order to grow, and just stay there, stay out. No, you get out a little bit, you come back to safety, you integrate it, you get out a little bit more, you come back to safety, you integrate the new informations and experiences, you stand a little bit more in the comfort zone, then at a later point in time you get out again, and so on and so forth. Because if you stay constantly, if you force yourself to stay constantly outside of your comfort zone, you will constantly experience some form of pain, some form of discomfort, some form of stress, and that's just not healthy. Okay, that's not. Sooner or later, you will end up having some disease or some sickness, some health problems, whether physical or mental or whatever. Try to imagine. I mean, seriously, I don't think I need to explain it to you. Can you sustain a healthy life of continuous stress? I don't think so. And ancient medicine knows this very well, that many diseases are actually caused by, many modern diseases are caused by extreme amounts of stress or trauma or etc., etc. Okay, so no, you cannot constantly stay outside of your comfort zone. That's not healthy, that's not okay, that's not the way to do it. That's not how people like me have done so far in their lives, and that's now not how people like me have achieved all the things that we achieved in our lives. Okay, I don't mean to brag about it. I don't mean to sound arrogant or anything, but I've done quite a lot in my life, and I've learned quite a lot. And I've never put myself into such a state of out of your comfort zone, so to speak. You know, like constantly. No, because it's not sustainable. So again, the real long-term, stable and sustainable solution is not to stay constantly outside of your comfort zone, but to enlarge it, to stay inside of it, and to do whatever it takes to enlarge your comfort zone. There's one particular case when this idea makes sense for a while, the idea of go out and stay out of your comfort zone. Yes, there is a particular case that I can see if when such a thing does have the necessary results and is necessary overall. If you don't have the minimum healthy size of the comfort zone, so for example, if you're that kind of couch potato, I believe you guys call it, if you're that kind of guy that does not work, lives only from his parents' money, and only sits in front of the TV or the computer and just wastes his time, and he's a very sedentary person. He has no real skills, no real knowledge, no real expertise in anything, because all he cared about is watch TV, drink beer and play video games. Well, yeah, ouch, that sucks. In your case, you need to make some serious efforts to get out of your comfort zone. If this is your only comfort zone, okay, you need to make serious efforts to get out of it and stay out of it for a while, because you just don't have a healthy minimum size of the comfort zone. Okay, it's not okay to not be able to do simple things. And again, as a small parenthesis, I'm strictly talking about a perfectly healthy human being. I'm not talking about a person with handicap. I'm not talking about people that have objective reasons for which they are unable to do certain things. No, we're not talking about them, okay? We're talking about healthy people. If you're like that, then yes, in your case, the get out of your comfort zone motto applies very much, and you have to apply it for a while until you get to have a healthy size of your comfort zone. But once you reach that point and you are becoming, a healthy individual, then you have to stop with this, because it's not healthy. It's not going to be healthy anymore because of the reasons that I've just explained. So the comfort zone, the enlargement of the comfort zone, it's not really all that difficult. There are several methods, although if you think about them, they're kind of one and the same. But anyway, you can enlarge your comfort zone by learning something new. So in other words, by having mental activities. You can enlarge your comfort zone by practicing some sports, or generally speaking, having physical activities. You can enlarge your comfort zone by acquiring new skills, new abilities, or improving existing skills and abilities. Okay? And while you keep having hobbies and passions, or perhaps you can even get new ones on top of your existing ones, you will guaranteed be in a healthy state of continuously enlarging your comfort zone without the unnecessary stress that staying constantly outside of your comfort zone brings to you. Okay, and these are just a few methods that I think about, but really, I speak so much in my videos about hobbies, passions, and activities that you want and you like to do in general, because aside from the work that I've done in my life, or the companies that I worked for and still work for, really this has been the thing that has developed me, and at the same time I've seen the exact same thing on other people, on other friends of mine. Hobbies and passions are the things that developed them as well. So they are a key component to a healthy life. Okay? Not relations, like some people might think. And I'm not saying that relations are not important. I'm not saying that having a girlfriend or a boyfriend that may potentially turn into a wife or husband one day is not important and is not helping you grow. Yes, it does. But first things first, it's about you. And when it comes to you, hobbies and passions are really the number one thing that you should be thinking of. The number one thing that can develop you in all sorts of ways. Okay, so honestly, in my opinion, the best comfort zone is when you just don't have to, when you live in such a way that you just don't have to think anymore about the comfort zone. I know it sounds a bit strange, but honestly, I've never thought about the comfort zone in my life. I've just heard it being talked about over and over and over again on the internet and in other contexts. But I never actually thought about my own comfort zone. I never actually thought about needing to get outside of the comfort zone, because I'm that kind of person that cannot stay put for extended periods of time without doing something. And well, with me it's a little bit more. I'm a very creative person, so I have serious problems not creating something, no matter how small it is, for extended periods of time. So I just can't. I don't feel good. But anyway, I don't want to talk about myself, because it's not about myself. I'm just giving myself as a small example, just so that you can understand things better. Okay? If you need to think about your comfort zone, then perhaps you're not doing enough for yourself in your life. Perhaps your life is a bit too empty, you know. And like I'm not saying that in order to judge you or anything. It's your job to assess how empty or how full your life is. And of course our lives change quite a lot in time. We don't always have a full and meaningful life. We may experience all sorts of periods of time, all sorts of different things. But anyway, typically, if you have to think about your comfort zone, you most likely have to think about other things as well. You know, like, what the hell are you doing? Because when you're active in your life in general, not just physically active, I'm just, you know, again, we're talking in more abstract terms on a higher level. When you're active in your life and you're doing all sorts of things, one of the last things that comes into your mind is your comfort zone. And whether you are or you aren't in your comfort zone, like typically you will sense when something is inside your comfort zone, a little bit out, or way too far out. And you know, perhaps you should kind of come back because it's just too far, and wait a little bit until that point becomes closer to you. But you don't think about it. You just don't. You just go on with your life, with your activities, and you are experiencing growth and development and expansion, or however you want to call it. So anyway, this was what I wanted to speak about, the comfort zone. And yeah, the reason why it kind of goes hand in hand with the previous video is that we kind of are forced to go back to the idea that everything comes with efforts. So you have to make efforts no matter what, you know. Nothing can be achieved just by clapping your hands. Enlarging your comfort zone implies effort, and you have to be okay with that. And you have to you know, the idea of making an effort and making constant efforts at some point in time, if it's not already there, but at some point in time, has to be integrated inside of the comfort zone. You have to make it a part of your comfort zone. If in general making efforts is a problem and right now it's outside of your comfort zone, that's one particular aspect that you need to focus on. Okay? I'm not talking about making constant efforts 24/7 each day, every day. I'm not talking about putting you in a place of continuous stress. That's not something that we do. It's not healthy, you know. But if any kind of effort is a problem for you, then that's what you need to focus on. Because nothing valuable comes without efforts. Okay? And no, I'm not talking about those situations when you are actually able to manipulate other people to do something for you. Okay? Manipulation of other people is fucked up, is wrong, can never be right, can never be okay. So we are just excluding it from the beginning. Okay? So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Hope you got some new informations. Hope things are clearer now. Keep in touch. I will come back with some more videos talking about some more things that I find important. So perhaps you can click the like button, perhaps subscribe, however you want. I don't care all that much. Thanks a lot for watching and for listening to me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.